Imagine this, it's the day of judgment. Everyone's on their own. It's extremely hot and the sun is burning from above. You look all around you, but there seems to be no shelter. But then you see some shade. And not just any shade, his shade. But you see that not everyone is allowed to find shelter there. Ya Allah, what to do? You go there and then you find out that you are among those lucky few, those very few that are allowed to stay under the shade of Allah's arsh. Subhanallah, can you imagine it? Assalamu alaikum, my name is Muhammad Arshad and today I'm here to let you know how to be among those who are under the shade of Allah on the last day. A day when there will be no shade except for His shade. Imagine being so loved by Allah that He gives you His protection on a day when everyone will be left stranded, alone and without any support. And this is possible for just 7 types of people. It is narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu an that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, there are 7 whom Allah will shade in His shade on the day when there is no shade except His shade. A just ruler, a youth who grew up in the worship of Allah, a man whose heart is attached to the mosque, 2 people who love each other for the sake of Allah and they meet and part in Allah's cause only. A man who is called by a beautiful woman of noble birth for illegal intercourse, but he says, I fear Allah. And a man who gives charity but hides it so that even his left hand doesn't know what his right hand has given. And a person who remembers Allah when he is alone and his eyes flood with tears. You see, it's not just about how much you pray or how much you fast. Those are the compulsory things that you need to perform just to be called a Muslim. However, Islam is more than that. For example, the Prophet ﷺ once said, nothing is heavier on the believer's scale on the day of resurrection than good character. For indeed, Allah hates the obscene, vulgar person. So it's about the actions we do, the intentions we have that will decide who truly succeeds. Number 1, a just ruler. Consider being in a position of power. This does not just include specific positions like a CEO or a political leader. It could be something small like a class representative, a project leader, or simply leading your family. Justice is not all about the big courtroom dramas. It's about fairness in the small decisions. Do you give credit where deserved? Do you listen carefully before judging? Imagine this. 2 people come to you to resolve an argument. One is related to you while the other is your subordinate. Who will you support? Your relative or the one who is actually right? Take guidance from the example of Umar radiallahu an. He used to walk on the streets at night to make sure his people were safe and well provided. If he saw any issue, he would investigate it and then find a solution that would be fair for all parties involved. Think about it. How can you mirror this in your daily interactions? Number 2, a youth who grew up in the worship of Allah. There are so many distractions in today's digital age. Can you even picture a young man who is completely focused on the worship of Allah? This doesn't even mean spending all your time in the mosque. This means that when you're at school or a friend's house, do you remember the time for prayer? Or do you forget it while you're busy and then regret it later? It's about choosing to go to the mosque for Fajr when you could be sleeping in, or spending a part of your evening in adhkar and dhikr instead of on Netflix. It's about making conscious choices that make it clear that your priority is Allah. However, you need to remember that it isn't just about how the young man is spending his time. It isn't just about them being strong on their own. It's also about how they were brought up. It's the stories about prophets before bedtime, praying together in the morning, and the small reminders that help them to stay connected to Allah. So for parents, it's all about making Islam a normal part of life, so your kids grow up feeling close to Allah. This way, when the kids see all the efforts that their parents put into helping them stay connected with Islam, it stays with them as they grow up, and then they implement every lesson ever taught. Number 3, a heart attached to the mosque. A man whose heart is attached to the mosque is more than just being there physically. It's about what the mosque stands for in your life. For example, you could be in a place where there is no mosque near you. So what happens then? A mosque is a symbol of community, learning, and a direct link to Allah. Even if you can't be there in person, you can create a mosque in your heart by making your home a place where Islam is alive, where prayers are regular, and where learning about Islam is a part of your daily life. You can also stay connected through technology, joining online classes or virtual meetups to talk about Islam with others. The important thing is keeping that connection strong no matter where you are. The Prophet ﷺ said, "The whole earth has been made a mosque and pure for me." This means you can make anywhere your place of worship and connection. Now, for those who can easily visit mosques, it's about more than just going for prayers. It's about getting involved, maybe helping out, or just being part of the community there. It's in these places you can feel a strong bond with other Muslims and strengthen your own connection to Allah. And remember that special hadith from the Prophet ﷺ where he said, "He who purifies by performing wudu himself in his house and then walks to one of the houses of Allah, the mosque, for performing an obligatory salah, one step of his will wipe out his sins and another step will elevate his rank in Jannah." Imagine that. With every step you take to the masjid, the sin gets wiped away and your rank in Jannah is going higher and higher with every single step. Number 4. Friends united for Allah's sake. Have you ever met someone who instantly made you want to be a better person? They're the ones who, when everyone else is gossiping, change the subject. They share motivational lectures or text you to see if you've prayed. They are not the ones that when you're spending time with them, you forget that it's time to pray. Instead, you remind each other of the time and then go to the mosque together. That's the kind of friendship we're talking about here. Friends united for Allah's sake are like rare treasures in our lives. They're not just friends to hang out with, they are your partners on your journey to stay close to Allah. They encourage you to do good and help you stay strong when you're struggling. This is about choosing friends wisely. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "A person is on the religion of his friends, so let one of you look at whom he befriends." This hadith reminds us to surround ourselves with people who uplift us and share our values. In a world where it's easy to feel alone in your beliefs, having friends who share your commitment to Allah can make all the difference. They're the ones who understand the struggles of maintaining your deen, especially in challenging environments. They're not just friends, they're brothers and sisters in Islam. Creating such friendships might start with a shared prayer at school or work, joining a study circle, volunteering for a charity together, or connecting over Islamic content online. It's about making that effort to reach out, to build bridges, and to support each other in ways that count. Number 5, resisting temptation. Imagine this, you're binge watching a trending TV series. It's really engaging with a storyline that just hooks you in and characters that are very charming. Yet as the plot unfolds, you realize that the story conflicts with your core Islamic values. The show, while entertaining, promotes ideas or behaviors that are far from halal. Now you're confused. Do you continue watching because it's engaging and everyone's talking about it? Or do you stop and uphold your principles despite the FOMO? This is not something new. It's an age-old concept. It's not just about what you watch, but about the choices you make on a daily basis that test your commitment to your iman. Like Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, who when a powerful woman desired him, chose to say, "I fear Allah." You too are often tested. His story teaches you that real strength lies in walking away from immediate satisfaction for a higher, more eternal reward. Maintaining your moral values can be tough in today's culture, where such tantalizing options are just a click away. TV shows, social media trends, and even conversations with friends can subtly turn you towards compromising your beliefs. However, every time you choose to step away from something inappropriate, you affirm your identity as a Muslim, prioritizing Allah's pleasure over momentary enjoyment. One practical tip is to make dua asking Allah for strength. The Prophet taught us many supplications for protection against wrong actions and thoughts. Regularly reciting, "O Turner of Hearts, keep my heart firm on your religion," is a beautiful way to seek strength. Number 6, giving charity in secret. Have you heard this story? There was this old woman who lived on the outskirts of Medina. Umar radiallahu anh noticed that she was all alone and wanted to take care of her needs, so he went to her house with everything. But when he got there, he saw that someone had already drawn water for her from the well and taken care of her needs. This happened for several days, no matter how early he got there. Umar asked the old lady that who has taken care of everything for you. She replied that I don't know who he is. May Allah reward him. He cleans my house, my clothes, and even cooks some food for my breakfast before he leaves. This made Umar curious, and one day he waited. He saw that it was none other than Abu Bakr radiallahu anh who would help the old lady every day without letting anyone know about it. Not only that, but Abu Bakr was actually the Khalifa at the time. Subhanallah, the leader of the Muslims doing this for just a person living on the outskirts of the city. What does this story tell you? Consider the act of giving not for applause or recognition, but purely for the sake of Allah. This is an earnest form of charity, practiced in the shadows, known only to Allah. The Prophet ﷺ said, the best charity is that given in secret, so much so that the left hand doesn't know what the right hand has given. Imagine helping a struggling neighbor with their groceries, or anonymously paying a student's school fees. These acts of kindness, they're unseen by others, but they carry an immense weight in the sight of Allah. The story of Abu Bakr is a true example of this. His actions were so silent that even his closest family members were unaware of them. Even the woman who he was helping didn't know. It's this level of concealment in charity that truly boosts the deed, making it a pure, selfless act of worship. It reduces ego, it clarifies the intentions, and it strengthens your private relationship with Allah. It increases humility, reminding you that the true goal of charity is to seek Allah's pleasure, not worldly praise. Number 7, remembering Allah in private. What do you do when you're alone? Do you read a book, or cook a meal, or take a nap? Or do you maybe stand in prayer or recite the Quran? You are thinking about Allah, you are talking to Him, or you are reading His words to yourself and they bring tears to your eyes. These tears are a true expression of your love, fear and hope in Allah. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, the eyes that shed tears in the fear of Allah will not enter hell. This hadith isn't just about the act of crying, it's about what those tears represent. A heart alive with consciousness of its creator, overwhelmed by His majesty, His mercy, and the ultimate truth of your existence. Such moments are precious. They completely strip away the distractions of life, leaving a raw, unfiltered connection with Allah, whether it's deep at night during Tahajjud, or in the early hours of Fajr, or in the quiet reflection at the end of the day. These are the times when your soul speaks its purest language of devotion to Allah. And that's it. Can you imagine standing under Allah's shade when there's no other shelter? Do you want to be one of these people? Of these 7, which appeals to you the most? Why is that? Would you really like to be this person? If so, make that firm intention right now. Ask Allah for it right now and think about the one habit you need to adopt to make this a reality in your life. Please share your thoughts and comments below. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and a share with your family and friends. Don't forget to subscribe to get notified about more content like this. If you like this video, then you're going to want to check out this one next. JazakAllahu khair for being here. May Allah guide us all towards His shade. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. فاسكب ضياءك إني ظمآن